with us today is IAS officer Akshay Sunil Agrawal, who is posted as ADM Mayurbhanj, Odisha. Mr. Agrawal has spearheaded numerous initiatives aimed at enhancing the education of tribal students, ensuring the safety of girls and women, and promoting the health of children. Welcome to Indian Mastermind, sir. Very
Sure.
first initiative is Mission Nabrangpur Codes. So, under this, you provided free coding course to the government schools for teaching students basic computer coding. So, my first question related to this initiative is that can you tell us about the impact of the program beyond just the number of the students? What are the improvement in students' confidence, problem solving skills, and academic performance?
Yeah, this is a very good and very relevant questions actually, because what happens is in when these kind of initiatives they get covered in news, they just cover the the output of it. Like
Right.
these many students got selected, or these many students got benefited from this. But what you are asking is very relevant. What apart from the numbers, what beyond this, what is the benefit? And that was the original intention behind this program. So of course we gave this free coding education to more than 15,000 students, especially the tribal students in in my previous district. So what happened was that these students who although they had some computer laboratories, some facilities in their schools, never touched the computers before that. Okay, they had never touched the computers because they were too scared to touch it. They did not even know how to start a computer, how to do basic things in computer. So, and also thanks to government of Odisha, under a lot of good initiatives, the government of Odisha has given a very good physical infrastructure in high schools of the state. So I thought that when we have physical infrastructure, why not use it to increase the confidence of students, and why not expand their their knowledge base. So the first thing was when we started this program, initially the major challenge was this only, that the students don't even know how to start the computer. How will they learn coding? So I thought that is the first step. Let them start the computer. Let them so first 1 or 2 weeks I just asked the schools principals to ask their students to go to the computer labs and just switch on the computers and play with it whatever they want, so that they're comfortable with it.
Right.
And after that we started this. And one beautiful thing about this program was that the coding people who are into the coding area, they know that there is a coding language. So every language has a syntax, it has a code, and it's a kind of a dry subject. It's boring, it gets boring after a point. However, with today, because of development in technology and all, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, it has developed one tool whereby you can do you can do coding with the help of blocks. Okay, it is called block codings. So you just need to drag the blocks. So here you just need to know the logic behind doing anything. For example, 2 plus 2 will make 4. This is the logic. But in whatever language you write it, it doesn't matter. So I wanted my students to know only the logic and how coding works, and what coding is. So I told them that see, you are now looking at YouTube video, where on the YouTube video, when you press on the search button, it shows you the results. Okay, then if you click on any video, then the video will open. If you click on pause button, the video will pause. If you increase the volume button, the volume will increase. So I told them, how does this happen? It happens because there is a coding behind it.
Right.
Okay, somebody has written a code that if you press this button, this will happen. So I just told them we have to develop this logic, and this is what coding is. And everything these days is computerized. So and, we are moving into artificial intelligence and machine learning, so everything will be coding. And I also thought that a lot of private schools, they already have these courses being given to their students right from a very young age. Like class 3, class 4 students, they're learning coding. So I thought, why our students were my government students, why should they be left behind in this? And if you look at the private courses, they're very, very expensive.
Right.
And obviously students going to government schools cannot afford those. So then I thought that I'll do anything. Fortunately, I got into touch with one of the institutes in Singapore. It is called Codeversity, and the one of the co-founders was my friend. And I told him that I need this course. You please give us free of cost. So all credit goes to their team. They build this course in a regional language, and they gave it to us free of cost. And so that is how we did it. So the first thing was beyond the numbers, our students, they became confident, they became comfortable with computer, new technology. And now they are able to kind of just ask us a task, and they will try to do coding about it, will try to automate it. So our students even went, so whatever we taught them, they went beyond that. And they some of the students were so smart, they even built mobile games from that coding. These are the tribal students studying in government schools, living in very remote areas, and they are learning computer coding. And one day, I'm not saying that you become a software engineer or a coder, but you should at least know what is happening behind the screen, right?
So like you shared that 15,000 बच्चों को कोडिंग का ये कोर्स दिया गया था. तो did any of these students continue pursue coding further? Like if any of these students want to learn advanced coding, are there any other provisions to it?
Yeah, so actually with Codeversity, the organization with which we were working, so they already had this entire program in with them. So this exposure to coding, this was a very basic course that was given to every student. And out of that, we were planning to kind of filter out students depending on how they were performing in the test after the course ended. And give them some even advanced version of education in coding. And then out of that, maybe we even went up to planning for when these students grow up, we can maybe even place them with good companies. So however, I got transferred from that district, and after my transfer, that program lost its kind of steam there. However, I'll definitely try to again restart it whenever I get a chance somewhere.
And that's really great, sir. So when we think of coding, it's basically कि coding English में हमारे दिमाग में तुरंत English click करता है. So but you developed this course in Hindi. So what were the challenges of developing this course in Hindi? And are you like, did you ever plan of like further taking this code in any other Indian languages apart from Hindi and English?
Yeah, so the thing was, the Codeversity organization which had given us this course, they originally had this course in English. And I told them that since one of the co-founders, Mr. Vishal, and Vishal is a very good friend of mine. I told Vishal that, see, our students, they learn English here, but they are not very comfortable with it. And obviously, these courses are not even in Indian accent. They have some foreign accent, and our students, I told them they won't be able to understand even with subtitles. So I insisted him, and his team did a great job, and they developed this course into Hindi. First of all, I asked him to do it in Odia, because Odia is a local language that we speak here in Odisha. Right. But then he said that there's no Odia in our team, and it will be very difficult for us to do it. Let us first do it in Hindi, and then maybe we can do it in other regional languages. So yeah, I told him, okay, do it in Hindi. At least our students, they understand Hindi. They will be more comfortable. Right. And so we built it in Hindi. The only challenge, I guess, was that it took some time to convert the course into Hindi language, because it involves a lot of recordings and so many things. But we took 2-3 months time, but we could do it.
That's really great, sir. So coming to your other initiative, that is city surveillance system, you started this particular initiative in the same Nabrangpur district, so which was aimed at making the city a safer place, particularly for girls and the women. So sir, if you could please tell us, since you started this initiative, what has been its impact now? Has this system contributed to decrease the petty crimes that used to take place? And can you share some specific examples or like a case study?
Yeah, so see, Nabrangpur, if you go on the map and you see that it happens to be on the border, interstate borders. So there is a Chhattisgarh border, there is Andhra border, and it lies in the south west corner of Odisha, and it's a tribal district. It used to be affected by Naxalism also, and it's a very small town, but so a lot of those dark corners in the those gullies, and those mohallas where women used to feel threatened after the dark, and so those kind of small things used to happen. And somebody used to just cut the electric line, some miscreants, and somebody would just vandalize the public property. then there was a lot of flow of drugs and ganja and all these things also through the district. That is what the police informed us. And it was very difficult to track these people most of the time. And since it was the interstate borders also, a lot of crimes used to take place, and then the accused used to run to the other state, and it would be very difficult to track that person. So then I along with the police department of Nabrangpur, the superintendent of police, we both sat together and thought that maybe we should have this kind of surveillance system. And the superintendent of police told me that if you can try to figure out how we'll do it, because we need funds to do anything. So then I thought about it, and then from some funds that we had with the local municipality, we used that fund, and we developed a network of cameras in the form of surveillance system. And once it got installed, we had a very big control room also in the SP office. From that control room, we used to have officers from the police department who used to sit there, and they used to watch it 24 hours. So of course the system was advanced, high tech, and there were also provisions that if you so it had a face recognition system also. So it's like if you put some some image into its system, and if you want it to search, so if at all a camera if at all a camera sees that person, or somebody who looks similar, it will immediately flag in the screen. So that kind of system we had. And the police, they told me that it has been very helpful to them, because it has become easy to track the the culprits, the miscreants. And also because of the interstate border, a lot of robbery also used to happen there. Especially theft of vehicles, right? 4-wheelers and 2-wheelers. That also used to happen. What these people used to do is, these gangs used to just steal vehicles, and then they used to sell it in another state. So that those kind of things also used to happen. And because of these cameras, the police could track this kind of movements. They could solve a lot of such kind of cases. And also about ganja movement, drug movement. So if the police has the information, so this system also had not just the face recognition, but also the number plate recognition system of the vehicle. So if at all the police knows that if it has got some information from the informants that ganja is being carried into this vehicle, this number vehicle. So if you feed that number into the system will tell you that this vehicle has just now passed from this choraha, or this whatever. So it has helped. It is still helping the the police department to and it has definitely instilled a confidence among the citizens also. And now people are scared to do any kind of vandalism in the town. It has reduced drastically. So these kind of benefits we are accruing.
That's really helpful. That's really good. So coming to your other initiative, that is Mission Zero Malnutrition, which is a complementary feeding program for children aged 6 months to 3 years of age. So since you started this campaign, have children shown improvements in their nutritional status and overall health?
Yeah, definitely. See, first of all, let me tell you what complementary feeding is. So we all know that once a child is born, up to 6 months, it is advised that only the mother's milk is fed to the child. So the child survives only and exclusively on the mother's milk. However, after 6 months, we do the annaprashan. So what we observed was that although the government gives everything to these families, so there's a concept called take home ration. So since these kids are very, very small, they are just 6 months to 3 years old, so they cannot be really sent to a school or any kindergarten. So the parents don't send them to schools. So so there's a concept of take home ration, THR, which is given every month to these families, depending on if there's any newborn. And after 6 months, so we have a register where we know that this household has now become eligible to receive the take home ration. And that take home ration is given to that family for that kid. However, we observe that there is no guarantee that that kid is fed that food, is being given that food, because that food can be eaten by his father, his dadi, his other cousins, or his brothers, sisters. we don't know who is actually eating that food. And despite all this, the malnutrition numbers were not improving. And a lot of surveys have happened, especially the National Family Health Survey. If we see, the numbers are not that good. So what we did was we partnered with American Indian Foundation. It's an organization, international organization, which works into various areas, and one of them is malnutrition. So we came up with an idea that why not work in 2 blocks of our district. We'll start with that, and we'll give each and every family having children in this age group complimentary feeding. So finances and all will be looked after by the American India Foundation, so they will help us with the funds and all. And also they'll also hire some local volunteers who will motivate these mothers, who will go door to door and give them this complimentary feeding. So in that, what we have done is we have made a menu for 6 days a week. So 6 days a week, depending on the nutritional needs of the child, we what we have done is we have made a menu. So in that menu has a balanced diet. It has this many grams of protein, this many grams of carbohydrates, fibers, etc. And every day one or the other food item gets prepared and it is given to that child. So either it is home delivered. Now what we are trying to do is we are since these mothers also have other kids, and sometimes it happens that these mothers bring their elder children to the schools or Anganwadi centers. We ask them to bring their younger ones also who are in that age group, and we have a very kind of community involvement there. So we try to explain to them about these recipes which they should follow for their kids, and what is the how nutrition is important for mental and physical development of a child. Right. And at the same time, we also give them this food that we have prepared. And if at all they don't come, we'll give them we give them the home home delivery, door to door delivery. So obviously there have been improvements in the indicators, nutritional indicators of these children, and they have gained weights. So a lot of children in our district, since it's a tribal district, we used to face the issues like underweight and severely malnourished children. And a lot of children in this age group now have been coming out of these serious issues.
That's great, sir. So are there any educational initiatives to promote better feeding practices at home?
Yeah, definitely. So, we, as I told you, this is not just about complementary feeding, but we also have a lot of community participation also. So we also plan and organize that every week, we'll have a meeting with all the women and also the male members of the village in the Anganwadi center. And there we'll try to explain to them the importance of, the importance of nutrition, what different nutritious foods they should prepare, and, and also about other things like maintaining hygiene, hand washing, and so many different activities. Also the early childhood development of the child. So there, as we know that a lot of motor skills and those things, they get developed in a very early age. So we give so apart from this complementary feeding, we are also now trying to give these children some of the toys, some very simple toys and very simple instruments through which they will be able to have early childhood development. They will be able to develop their motor skills and all those things. So through different government programs, obviously we'll be combine them together. So a lot of convergence is also happening here. So it's not just that we are taking one scheme at a time. We are combining so many different schemes, partnering with NGOs and organizations, and then together we are giving some benefit to the society.
That's great, sir. So thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. Thank you so much for giving your strategies and tips for the aspirants who are preparing for CSC, and all the very best to you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.